On Sunday night, President-elect Donald Trump made a significant announcement regarding his immigration strategy for his second term. He revealed that Tom Homan, the former acting head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, would be returning to the administration to oversee border control as his Border Czar. This position, which does not require Senate confirmation, would place Homan in charge of the southern and northern U.S. borders, as well as all maritime and aviation security. Additionally, Trump emphasized that Homan would oversee the deportation of illegal immigrants back to their countries of origin. The president-elect's social media post, shared on Truth Social, praised Homan as the best at policing and controlling U.S. borders. This announcement was not entirely unexpected, as Trump had previously hinted over the summer that Homan would play a crucial role in overseeing immigration policies if he won re-election. Trump's statement laid out the ambitious scope of Homan's new role, aligning with Trump's long-standing emphasis on strong border security and strict immigration enforcement. With Homan now in a central position to oversee these areas, Trump signaled his intention to double down on his tough stance on immigration, continuing many of the policies that defined his first term. Tom Homan's return to a central role in the Trump administration is a significant development for both the president and the broader immigration debate in the U.S. Homan has extensive experience in law enforcement, particularly in immigration enforcement, spanning over 3 decades. He began his career as a police officer and later served as a Border Patrol agent. Homan's law enforcement career saw him working under 6 U.S. presidents, giving him a unique perspective on how immigration policy has evolved across different administrations. During his tenure as the Executive Associate Director of Enforcement and Removal Operations for ICE under President Obama, Homan was responsible for overseeing the removal of immigrants from the U.S. His leadership led to a record number of deportations, a statistic that would later become a point of both pride and controversy. Under his leadership, ICE implemented several tough enforcement measures, including the controversial policy of family separations at the U.S.-Mexico border, which led to significant criticism, particularly in 2018 when thousands of children were separated from their families. Homan's record on immigration enforcement made him a key ally of Trump's during the first term. He was a vocal advocate for Trump's immigration policies, which sought to limit illegal immigration through measures such as enhanced border security, the construction of a border wall, and mass deportations. Homan's return to the administration signals Trump's commitment to maintaining a hardline approach to immigration. Homan's official title of Border Czar is significant, as it designates him as the central figure responsible for overseeing all aspects of U.S. border security. This role will include the management of both the southern and northern borders, maritime security, and aviation security. It also gives Homan considerable authority over immigration enforcement and deportations, an area where he has considerable experience. In his announcement, Trump emphasized Homan's experience in law enforcement, describing him as the best at controlling U.S. borders and dealing with illegal immigration. This praise reflects Trump's long-standing view that strong enforcement is critical to securing the border and reducing illegal immigration. Immigration will remain a focal point of Trump's presidency, with Homan at the helm of enforcement efforts. In a recent interview, Homan outlined how he would approach deportations in the coming years. He promised that deportations under his leadership would be a well-targeted, planned operation, focusing on public safety and national security threats first. Homan also suggested that his approach would be more humane than previous efforts, stressing that ICE agents would aim to carry out deportations in a way that minimizes disruption for families. Homan's return to a leadership role in the Trump administration is likely to provoke strong reactions from both supporters and critics of Trump's immigration policies. Proponents of strict immigration enforcement will likely view Homan's appointment as a positive development, as it signals Trump's continued commitment to securing the U.S. border and enforcing immigration laws. On the other hand, immigration rights groups and opponents of Trump's immigration policies are already preparing to challenge Homan's actions. Throughout Trump's first term, organizations such as the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, and other immigrant advocacy groups fought against what they saw as cruel and inhumane policies, including family separations and the expansion of detention centers for undocumented immigrants. These groups are expected to ramp up their efforts to challenge Homan's leadership, particularly if his deportation plans are implemented on a large scale. Additionally, legal scholars have raised concerns about the legality of some of Trump's proposed immigration policies, particularly the use of military force to secure the border and the possible re-implementation of controversial practices like mass workplace raids. While Homan has promised that deportations will focus on the most dangerous individuals, there are concerns that these operations could disproportionately target vulnerable populations, including those who have lived in the U.S. for many years and have established families. For Trump, immigration has always been a key political issue. His tough stance on immigration helped fuel his rise to power in 2016, and it continues to be a central theme in his re-election campaign. Homan's appointment underscores Trump's desire to remain tough on immigration in his second term. This is a strategy that resonates with his base, many of whom see strong immigration enforcement as essential to protecting U.S. jobs and national security. However, Trump's immigration policies are not without their risks. The approach he has championed has led to widespread criticism from immigrant communities, civil rights organizations, and even some Republican lawmakers. Critics argue that these policies violate human rights and harm the very fabric of American society by separating families and demonizing immigrants. As Trump prepares for his second term, the battle over immigration will likely continue to be one of the most divisive issues in American politics. With Homan now in charge of border enforcement, Trump appears determined to push forward with his immigration agenda, even as he faces significant pushback from both domestic and international critics. In conclusion, the appointment of Tom Homan as Trump's Border Czar highlights the president-elect's commitment to a hard-line immigration policy in his second term. With Homan's extensive background in law enforcement, he is poised to play a central role in shaping U.S. immigration strategy, particularly with regard to deportations and border security. However, the challenges of implementing these policies, combined with legal and political opposition, suggest that Homan will face significant hurdles in achieving Trump's ambitious immigration goals. As the 2025 inauguration approaches, it is clear that, however, Trump's immigration policies are not without their risks. The approach he has championed has led to widespread criticism from immigrant communities, civil rights organizations, and even some Republican lawmakers. Critics argue that these policies violate human rights and harm the very fabric of American society by separating families and demonizing immigrants. As Trump prepares for his second term, the battle over immigration will likely continue to be one of the most divisive issues in American politics. With Homan now in charge of border enforcement, Trump appears determined to push forward with his immigration agenda, even as he faces significant pushback from both domestic and international critics. In conclusion, the appointment of Tom Homan as Trump's Border Czar highlights the president-elect's commitment to a hard-line immigration policy in his second term. With Homan's extensive background in law enforcement, he is poised to play a central role in shaping U.S. immigration strategy, particularly with regard to deportations and border security. However, the challenges of implementing these policies, combined with legal and political opposition, suggest that Homan will face significant hurdles in achieving Trump's ambitious immigration goals. As the 2025 inauguration approaches, it is clear that immigration will remain a focal point of Trump's presidency, with Homan at the helm of enforcement efforts.